Hey everybody, my name is Nozibele Kamganamayaba. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, last December, before we entered the new year, I went into social media and I was basically asking you guys if there's any content that we haven't covered that you would like us to cover in 2021. Is there any content that you would like us to continue with? So we got a lot of feedback and I appreciate it because I was also doing like just a double check to make sure that we're still on the same page. We still, the purpose of the channel, is still there. We haven't gone off rails, and I'm happy that most of the feedback is definitely in line with what this channel is about, with what our brand represents. So one feedback in particular that I got was from a friend that reached out and said, you have a lot of young people following you, and how I wish you could also cover your career journey, because there are a lot of people that may benefit from it. Kids that are finishing school, not sure what to do next, whether they should go to university and all of those things. And then that conversation was also cemented by another conversation that I had with a previous mentee, or a former mentee rather. So last December, this girl reached out to me and wanted to buy a book. And then upon realizing that she actually doesn't live far from us, I said to her, okay, no, we can meet up and I can give you the book personally. So when I arrived where we were supposed to meet, I'm like, hang on a sec. We know each other. And we were funded by the same organization many years back. So we're busy catching up, and I was asking her about school, about work, how's it going. And she finished, her degree. She's working towards being a CA. So she finished the degree. She just finished doing her articles at this one firm, and she just got a permanent employment. So I was happy for her. But what stuck with me, during that whole conversation, she said, but I feel like you didn't prepare us enough for the workplace as people that were, older than us, because I think, she was 3 years or 4 years younger than we were in our group. And she was like, you did not prepare us enough. Like, I got the shock of my life. I'm still adjusting. And guys, she did not have to say much. I understood exactly where she was coming from, because I know 11 years back, I was in a similar situation. So it also, provided me with a further motivation to do this video about my career journey and some of the things that I learned over an 11-year, career journey. So what I'm about to discuss, because I know a lot of people when I introduce this topic on social media, and I was like, guys, I've seen it all. I have experienced it all. We come from very complex backgrounds. For us, graduating from university, it's not just indonje. It's not just any other milestone. It's huge, because the next thing is for us to get a job so that we can take care of our family, so that we can be seen as someone in society. We can afford things, we can take care of ourselves. But then we go into the workplace and then we are bombarded with different things that we didn't expect, because Tina, getting a job is the final stamp into saying you have made it. We're gonna earn a salary and all those different things. And then we experience so many different challenges. First of all, the job that you get, there's a misalignment between what you studied versus what you are currently doing now. And the reason being is that you can't just turn down a job because you are going to earn a salary and the money is much needed at home. So you hate your job, but then you're stuck because you can't do otherwise until you find something better. And then there's an issue also of salary expectations, and also what the reality is, and the thin line between, do you negotiate, you don't negotiate. For example, as soon as we graduated, Tina, guys, we already have a set budget. Although we haven't found a job, but we already have a set budget. We want to buy our family a house, we want our own place, we want a car, we want so many different things. So we think to ourselves, okay, at least if my takeaway, and again, you just came out of university, sure, you don't have any experience, at least if my takeaway can be 25,000. Yes! If my takeaway can be 25,000, I'll be sorted. Hey guys, you go to this job and the job is like, no, because of this and this and this and that, we're only able to pay 15,000 rand. And after deduction, that 15,000 rand becomes just less than 10,000. that you take home. And then you caught in between, do I negotiate further because I am worth that much? That's a favorite line of us. I am worth that much. I have gone to school. I have an education. I am worth this certain amount of money. But then the HR manager is like, listen, Sissy, there is 30% unemployment rate between young people. So I don't want to like sound funny, but you are not special. So we can give this job to someone else, because like HR managers can say that. And they do say that. You should feel blessed that, you know, or should feel lucky that we have offered you this job, because there are other candidates that we wanted to consider, but we wanted to give you an opportunity. And you stuck there, you're like, oh, okay. Once again, there's responsibilities at home, but like you can't do otherwise. And then one thing that I also experienced was work politics. Guys, I was never ready, shame, for work politics. I was never ready. Group dynamics, working in a team, all sorts of things, you know, that in university, I don't think they prepare you enough, all right? So you are bombarded with, you were all trainees with Brian. Brian is a fake name again. All trainees with Brian, on the same path, and career-wise, same experience, same level of education, and then Brian gets promoted before you. Right? And no explanation whatsoever. You just need to get used to it. O'Brien was better candidate, and that is that. Or in some cases, O'Brien came in after you. You were the one who inducted O'Brien into the organization. You were the one who was showing O'Brien all the ropes and basically, you know, teaching him how the organization works, how the team works, and all of those things. 6 months down the line, O'Brien gets promoted, and you now have to report to O'Brien. No explanation whatsoever. Once again, the only thing that HR says is, listen, lady, once again, 30% unemployment, so you should be lucky that you have a job, and O'Brien is a better candidate still. You're like, but then I was the one who has been here longer, who has the experience, and that is that. And my favorite one when it comes to work politics, Mositina, on Friday, you're looking forward to the weekend, yeah, and then you go home, you just want to relax, you don't want to think about work, okay? You get home over a glass of wine, honey, you just bond with your family. Mamela, 5 o'clock while you're going at home looking forward to your wine, Brian and your boss is basically going out for drinks. Yeah, going out for drinks, and you don't think that they're going out for drinks in jail, just casual thing. I'll tell you why. Another example is that on Saturday, while you are still lounging around, relaxing, you know, looking forward to going back to work on a Monday, O'Brien and your boss are off on a golf trip. They're all off to a hunting trip. They're off to Ilanduga, a fishing trip, while you are still at home. And don't think, Ikelavi, that it's just for fun, just a casual thing. They're wearing shorts, having a good time. In those trips, they are discussing a strategy. They are discussing Brian's growth in the company. They are discussing like the movement within the team in terms of where is this one going to grow, this one we should put them here, and all of those things. You come back again on Monday, something is discussed in the meeting, but you get the sense that, hi man, this thing has been discussed before, so this is just a formality for everyone else to feel like they're part of the decision. But actually, all the decision was discussed in the trip, Lavi, in the golf trip, in the fishing trip, and when they were going out for hunting, when they're going out for drinks. Those are the dynamics, guys, of work. But before I go any further, let me just talk about my work experience, and then I'll go into detail about that. So as I already said, I've been working professionally for 11 years. I started working in 2010, but I would like to say before that, actually, I was working for my dad since I was about 11 or 12. So my dad owned a supermarket in the townships, and then it was under this whole pretense that, you know, he wants us to learn about the business so that we don't feel like we're getting a free ride, you know, and everything that we want, we're gonna get. And I was like, I've never felt that way because I have never gotten anything I want from you. But anyway, it was a learning experience for me, and I did it purposely because, one, I knew that the money that I was going to earn was going to help my mom at home. And secondly, it was all under this whole pretense that I wanted also to be recognized as one of the siblings, as one of, the tribe, and all of that. So I was willing to sacrifice my weekends. I was willing to sacrifice my school holidays, all for that. And then after a couple of years, my dad sold the supermarket, and then I bought, because the supermarket was a lot of work, guys, 7 days a week, from 8 in the morning till 8 in the evening. It was a lot. So he thought to himself, no, he's going to sell the supermarket and then go and buy a tire service shop where you do your car service, change tires, everything that needs to do with the car. So as soon as he opened that shop, I also worked from him there. And I basically worked myself up to a level where he could easily go on holiday with his family and leave me to take care of the shop, to manage the employees, to take care of the customers, everything that has to do with the shop. Open the shop in the morning, close the shop in the afternoon. Everything that had to do with the shop, I could do easily in my sleep. So there's a reason why I'm bringing this experience up. Then I went into high school. I never thought about university. I'll be very honest, and I said that before, because I thought I would never go to university. My family, my dad and his wife, said to me that they will not be able to pay for me for university. So I never thought I would go to university. I thought to myself, I'll just get like those rundown jobs, or actually work for him, and that will be enough. And then I got an opportunity through Ubuntu Pathways in Port Elizabeth that they offered me a full scholarship to go to university. And that was the first time that I ever thought that, oh, okay, it is possible. It's not a far-fetched dream for me to go to university. Then I applied to university. Before I applied, actually, I went to a student advisor at the university to advise me in terms of what can I do, what course can I take. And they advised me to take a course in marketing. But because I did not have a second language, so the school that I was in primary school, before I went to the private school, they offered English and isiXhosa. But then in the private school, they only offered English and Afrikaans. So I never did Afrikaans, so I needed to drop Afrikaans and only do English. But to be admitted into higher education in South Africa, you have to have 2 languages. So although I had enough points, the student advisor said they will never be able to accept me for a degree in anything because I don't have a second language. So I can only do a national diploma in marketing. I was like, okay, as long as I'm studying, this is fine. I didn't know anything about marketing. She just saw my marks in business studies and she just said I should do marketing, right? And that was also one of the courses that was not full. So I did marketing and I actually liked it. Funny enough, I always say marketing chose me. I didn't choose it, but it worked out perfectly. Like I was doing so well in Lantuga, in university. Like guys, I was an A student. Like anyone who's watching this who was in the same class as me will tell you, I'm one of those kids, when the lecturer said the highest mark was a 96% in a test, and someone says, oh, okay, who is that? And the teacher said, it's Nozibele Kamgan. Yes! That was me. It must be noted. Please, I'm very proud of myself. Anyway, so I did very well in university. And then in second year, towards the end of second year, my lecturer asks us to please consider going to this career fair, right? That they were doing at the university. I thought to myself, I don't need to go to a career fair because I do not need to think about a job until I finish studying. But she was like, no, you need to all go there. So we go there. I was there for the freebies, right? So I go to this particular store and it was a manufacturing company. And I thought to myself, actually, I recognize them because I used to deal with them as a supplier when I was working for my dad. So I was just there to go and grab a pen. And as I was grabbing the pen, the one of the people that was there was like, no, you can't just take the pen. You have to do this competition. Do the competition, then sign myself up in like their register, and then so they'll be in touch in terms of some of the programs that they are offering. I was like, what the hell? Okay, whatever. And a couple of weeks after that, they send an email that they have a graduate program, that is starting. They're urging everyone to apply. I'm thinking to myself, I haven't even finished my national terminal. I am still in second year, right? So, but then there's a part of me that says, man, I won't lose anything. So let me just try this out. So I applied. I just wanted to see how far I can go. I apply, guys, and it works out well. I get an interview. During the interview, the HR manager and the marketing manager really liked me. And I was like, but you do realize that I'm still at school? No, if you are successful, we'll work around that. But I'm thinking to myself, there are other two candidates here that are, one had finished her honors degree and one is working towards their honors degree. So there's no way that they're going to pick me to be part of this program. Funny enough, a week later, I get a call, no, you're part of the graduates program. And I'm like, okay. So when I go to sign the contract, I see the other two ladies that were there during the interview. They're also there. So it appears that all of us are going to be in this program. I get, guys. So the person that was managing this whole thing was really clumsy. So as we get in, she mixed up the contracts, right? We haven't been told how much we're going to get paid. She mixed up the contracts and tells us that, gives me the other person's contracts and gives my contract to another person. So I'm able to see like what the other two are going to get paid. The other two are going to get paid 9,000 Rand a month. All right. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm also going to get 9,000 Rand a month. This was actually worth it. And then I get my contract and my contract says I'm going to get 17 Rand an hour. And I'm like, hey guys, I'm not going to waste my time, Galok. So I'm thinking to myself, why am I like, okay, I understand they already graduated, but I can't work for 17 Rand an hour. Also, you need to understand that they said to me, I'm only going to go to work after my classes. So my classes ended around about 12. So I'll work in the afternoon up until 5 o'clock. So I'm not going to work for like about 4 or 5 hours for 17 Rand an hour. I'm not going to do that, right? So I'm thinking to myself, but I'm a bit like scared that I can't just work out. And also, what if they tell my dad, because they know my dad? So I'm embarrassed for that. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, let me see how far this goes. I signed the contract, guys. Okay, we get into that. The experience was nice. It was an eye-opener to be in such a formal setting when it comes to like, work. And then 6 months, just before the completion of because my one was 6 months and the other two was for 12 months. So just before the completion of my 6 months, an opportunity presents itself for a permanent position. I'm thinking to myself, no guys, this thing is not gonna work for me because I am still a student. I am still working towards even graduating. Then my boss urges me, no, you must apply, all three of you must apply. And we apply, and everyone, it's quite obvious, guys. As I said, those two have already graduated. They have, the qualifications that are needed. But lo and behold, like, I get chosen for the job, right? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this doesn't make sense. Everyone is shocked in the organization. Everyone is shocked by how can you take a student that is that's still working over students that have already graduated, that have it makes more sense to take those students. But my boss is like, nope, I'm gonna take her. She has the potential. This is who I chose to for this position. It's not without this controversy again. That's how I gained my first job. And my first job was a national events and branding coordinator. So what I basically did was I was within the marketing team, and whenever there was a marketing event or when it comes to making sure that our brand is well represented, everyone in the company is using our brand according to our policies, according to our manual, according to our CR manual. I am that person to make sure that it is well represented within the organization and wherever we go, right? So it was quite an interesting experience as one of the youngest employees in the organization. I was 19. I was 19 and I was working with people twice my age. Okay. It was tough. It was really tough to gain the respect of people twice your age that have experience, similar to your age. Basically, they started working when you were born, and you are basically now their colleagues. It's quite hard. And then while I was busy fumbling and trying to find my feet, an opportunity presents itself for me to go to Germany. my boss calls me and says, listen, there's this opportunity to go to Germany, our headquarters, for 12 months. It's a marketing and sales training program. So they basically take young people from all the markets of that manufacturing company across the world and they go and spend 12 months at their headquarters in Germany. So what the intention about that is that they learn the strategy as it's formulated from the headquarters or from their hometown and then into the different markets. So I was based in the business intelligence department. One of my biggest assignments was to basically do a competitive analysis of the brand, in relation to other brands, in relation to the competitors. So for example, if the brand ranked number 3 in the country of origin, why is that? Because you would assume if the brand originated in that country, people will find more relevance in it, and that's why they'll buy it more. The things that we found out is that sometimes the brand is ranked low in other countries because the distribution is not that great. For example, if there's no plant, if there's no manufacturing plant, a factory that manufactures a product in that particular market, it's going to be hard, for people to wait months and months for this specific tire to be imported from other countries to that particular country. So they basically take whatever is made available. And the other thing that we also found out is that there was a huge influx of Chinese brands that was basically dominating the market, because we all know that tires are very expensive. Okay, so now the Chinese were penetrating the market with cheap tires and people were actually going for that. So I was presenting this to Exco and just basically recommending what are some of the things that we could look into. Is there in the near future an opportunity for us to have a factory in those particular markets? So I spent 12 months in Germany. What a shocker, culture shock. I'm Miss Tom. It was the first time I've been away from home for that long, in a foreign country that did not speak English. But I was like, you know what? I am here for a reason. I need to save as much money as I can so that I can go back home and take care of my family. So I came back to South Africa in March of 2013. Then I started my new job now. I moved away from events and I was now stationed in the market research unit. So what we basically did was we wanted to go into the different markets of Africa. So the particular brand, I almost said the particular brand was based in South Africa, and then it basically distributed the tires to the rest of Africa. But we wanted to see that is an opportunity to now stabilize and formalize our distribution channel in the different African markets. So my role was to basically do an analysis, market research in terms of what is the best market to go into as a first one, because of economic reasons, because of stability, because we already have a distributor there. Is it more viable to go to Kenya first than Zimbabwe because of the economic situation there? So all of those things, I enjoyed working that close with management and Exco, because you are really influencing the decision makers. But guys, after 4.5 years being in the tire market, I was like, bro, this is not where I'm meant to be. It was good, for a long time. It provided me with opportunities that I could only dream of, but I wasn't passionate about it. I need to be honest. And as much as I always shy away from saying this, but it went to a point where I dragged myself to go to work, because I was like, this is not what I want to do long term. I need to find a more fulfilling job that I was passionate about. Then opportunity came by where I had an opportunity to go back to the same organization that funded me to go to university. So they were doing amazing work in the community, transforming lives of children that were born under very difficult circumstances, to give them an opportunity, to succeed despite of where they were born. One of the famous slogans that we often used was, your birthplace does not determine your future. So what they basically did, they went all all around the world, basically campaigning, fundraising to offer different services, from university scholarships, from making sure that they provide a safe space for children to come and play after school, tutoring services. They had an on-site clinic where children born from people living with HIV or parents living with HIV, they were born HIV negative, providing antenatal care and all of those things, and taking that child throughout their whole journey of actually growing up and provided with everything possible. And I thought to myself, this is what I should be part of. How can I use my marketing skills to further the cause of this organization? So I was the South African representative of the organization. We were based in South Africa, and I joined the marketing team in terms of fundraising, donor management, marketing. How do we get the word out? I worked with 2 international offices in London and New York. So that's where our fundraising base was mainly at. So every year I'll go to those, to those countries, or to the cities rather, and we would hold fundraising galas. So literally standing up in front of hundreds and hundreds of people from all walks of life and talking about the work that we do. I had the time of my life. I traveled New York, London, Belize. I went to Norway, like so many different countries. I will forever be grateful for that opportunity. And then after 5 years, I thought to myself, okay, I always give myself a 5-year plan. I now should think about the next part of my life, where to from here. And then that was during that transition where school was coming to Johannesburg. And I thought to myself, okay, let me look this side, because PE can be very limiting. Let me look this side in terms of what I can do. And then I got an opportunity to join the academia space. And that was a shocker. Academia space, especially in South Africa, realizing the history of the academia space. It's very complex, and I was quite shocked in terms of the culture and what it represented. And so I was in charge of the external relations, alumni relations, and fundraising. So all the people that are graduating from this particular institution, how can we bring them back so that they can also be part of growing the university, and be part of the different activities that we're trying to do, fundraising and all of that. Then after 1 year of being part of the academia space in that particular department, I got promoted to now join another unit. So this unit in particular focuses on the enablement and the innovation of the health system in South Africa. So what the unit basically does is, how can we support the initiatives of the government to make sure that our health services reach the most vulnerable, the most underprivileged of our citizens. I was more in charge of the business development and stakeholder relations. So how do we get more business? How do we maintain the existing relationships and cultivate them to bring this more business and all of that? So yeah, guys, that is my 11-year experience in terms of my career. Now let us break down some of the things that I learned, and I'm hoping that you're also going to learn from all that I said. Transition from high school to university was very complex. As I've said to you, I never thought that I would go to university. For that reason, I never took the time to say, what is it really that I'm passionate about? What is it really that I want to become? What change do I want to be part of? I just wanted to go to university, get a job, and take care of my family. That was the goal for me. And if you are a student that is in that situation where you're really not sure in terms of where to go, whether you should go to university or whether you should take a gap year, what should happen? This is going to be for the student and also for the parent. There's going to be a lot of pressure because it's the norm for you to finish school and go to university immediately. And I'm one person, and I know this is going to be very controversial. I'm one person that believes that that is not the path for many students. That is not the path for many people. It does not mean you have to go to university. If you want to do, law, if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be a CA, take the time to understand what these careers entail. Shadow people as much as you can while you are still in high school to get a better understanding of, is this really the career that I want to have, or is this a career that I want to venture into? A career in some cases is mainly influenced by, I saw one person, they have a lot of money, they have a nice car, I want also a job that pays a lot of money. We all want money. But guys, I've been in the industry, or I've been working for 11 years. I can assure you there's nothing frustrating and that can kill your soul as being in a job that you hate. It does not matter how much money it pays. I guarantee you there's nothing that will cripple you and question it makes you question everything that you do than being in a job that you actually hate. It doesn't matter how much money that you get. So take as much time, do your research, attend those career fairs, and understand the career that you want to venture into. The other thing that I want to say is, in most cases, also the careers that we choose are mostly influenced by this thing where our teachers look at our marks and say, oh, okay, you are good at accounting, you will be a good accountant, you will be a good CA. Guys, being good at a subject does not mean you automatically be good in that field. Being good in history does not mean that you will be a good lawyer. Being good in accounting does not mean that you will be a good accountant. So please refrain from this thing where you see a child doing well, getting 80%, or automatically thinking that they should be venturing into that career. Please do further assessment in terms of that. And then there's this thing where you apply to university and the admissions office tell you, no, you can't go into this course because you do not meet the requirements. This subject was not good, you didn't get enough marks. But then they tell you, but you can do this course for about a year, and then after a year you can move into the other course. Do not do that. And I know, there's this thing where I want to go into university, I want to study, I don't want to idle. Now, I would even prefer, guys, you go and improve the subject so that you can actually apply the following year and get into the degree that you now want. This thing of, you're gonna go to this one course, sometimes you don't even get accredited, and then the other year you're gonna change into the other course. No, just even if there's an opportunity to do so, please make sure that you now improve your subjects and then you go into Landuka to the course that you wanted. That is what I have to say in terms of the transition from high school into university. And then, guys, the shocker that I got when I started in the workplace was when I got the opportunity to be now a permanent employee, there was no negotiation of a salary. Now, as I told you, we have our certain expectations up. I already have my budget. And then I got now my contract, or Landuka, my letter of offer, and my boss told me that I am going to get offered 8,500 rand. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, there are many things that are wrong with this. Number one, I am worth more than 8,500 rand. And secondly, the students that I was in, the other trainees, were being offered 9,000 rand as trainees. But yet I am offered less, regardless of the fact that I am now a permanent employee. But my boss was one of those people like, you take it or leave it, I am offering you 8,500 rand. It was that underlining tone once again that you should be grateful that we chose you over the two others, because we could have given this opportunity to the others. So I didn't have enough space to say, hang on a sec, can I have room to negotiate my salary? I did not have that. And as I said, I was young, I was naive, I was like, I should be taking whatever I get. Although at the back of my mind, I was like, this is not right. And then they said to me after a while, no, we'll revisit your salary after you have graduated, after you have gotten your national diploma in marketing. And I thought to myself, okay, let me see how far this goes. And I graduate from a national diploma in marketing. I'm thinking to myself, this is going to get doubled. I'm going to get like 15,000 rand at least. I mean, this was 2010. I'm going to get like 15,000 rand, blah, 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 blah. The salary increase comes through. and it says that I'm going to get an increase of 1,000 rand. So from 8,500 rand to about 9,500 rand. Once again, nothing relating to, okay, let's talk about it. What is, your development and all of that. It was very quiet. So the one thing that I can say when it comes to negotiating salary is make sure that you have enough information at your disposal that you can state when you are negotiating your salary. So for example, negotiating a salary is very emotional and can get very emotional. So what you should do is understand, okay, I have this level of education, I have X amount of years when it comes to experience, right? This is what I have to offer in that regard. Furthermore than that, I have done my research in terms of understanding in the industry that we're in the location that we're in, the same level, where I'm at, people are getting paid, or it is expected in the industry that I should be getting paid X amount of money. So when you go to that, you are giving them facts rather than saying, I deserve more than that, like I am worth more than that. Have effects, do your research. In the industry, how much is getting paid for the same level where you're at, with the same level of education, at the same level of experience, and take it from there. Then guys, there comes an issue now of e-work politics, as I said. Let me first say this. When I started my career, I always said, oh, but I can't play the politics. I can't play the game. They usually call it the game. No, so you have to play the game. I can't play the game. I can't be part of the politics because to me, oh, black is black, oh, white is white. There's no gray area, right? I've been in situations where guys are going to a meeting and I'm thinking to myself, no man, this person, like what is being discussed here is not right. Or someone does something that I am not in agreement with, and I want to take it up. I want to make sure that my opinion is being heard, or I want to voice something that I don't think is being done right. And then I've been in situations where like everyone is quiet. They know, like we've had this discussion that this thing should not happen, and then you get into the meeting. Everyone is quiet, or even worse, they're not just quiet. In some cases, they're even in agreement with the very same thing that we had discussed that is not right. Okay? And then we walk out into the meeting, I'm like, guys, like, what happened? Like, Nozi, you have to play the game. Like, we have to be in agreement with this person because they're going to do 1, 2, 3, ABC. I wish it was different. I wish I can tell you that it gets better, but I can tell you that it doesn't. But here are some of the things that I think helped me in dealing with some of the manipulation that comes in with working. I remember when during my early years, there was this one guy, guys, he was good. Like I think he was about 2 years older than me. He came in like a year after I did. And I don't know what it was, but within a month, he had been able to read like, okay, who's boss, who's taking the decision in this unit, who's taking the decision in the company, like who's influential, who to align with, and all of that. And he was able to just manipulate like everything, the situation towards himself. Like he was that good, okay? Like Usman Dani, guys, was that good, man. I applaud him for that. He was able to work himself around, and for that reason, like when I look at his career, even now, like I'm not surprised. Like I'm not surprised at all. So some of the tips that I'm going to give you are this. As much as I know you are me, I often say this: I am you, you are me. When something is not right, I want to address it now and we move on. Sometimes, guys, you just need to let it go. Okay? If you see, okay, this person is not doing this right, or this person, I don't feel like this is supposed to be done this way, just assess, your fights. Sometimes you do not need to address every other fight. You do need to address some fights, but you do not need to address everything. So pick your battles very, very well. Don't let them hear your voice all the time. Don't allow them to hear where you are all the time. This is something that I've had to learn, as I said, throughout my whole career, that sometimes you're just like, oh, okay. As long as, guys, it's nothing unethical. Other than that, please shy away from always wanting to address things, because I can guarantee you it will make you a target for these guys. Have the emotional intelligence to say, okay, is this worth me bringing it up? Is it of significance for me bringing it up? And if it's not, move away from it. Now, there's an issue that came up where someone that was trained by you that actually came in after you and gets promoted, and now you have to report to this person and all of that. I have an interesting perspective when it comes to this, because I have been that person that has been promoted. For example, as I've said, that example where I was given a job, a permanent job, over people that considered more qualified in that situation. And I can't even explain like why it was. My boss just said, I see potential. I see someone that I can further mentor, I can work with. That's why I chose you. But I can see why it was unfair for those two other candidates who had their honors degree, who was working towards their honors, for a national diploma student who had not even finished her qualification to get first preference. I can understand it. And I've also been in a situation where I feel like, hang on a sec, years later, this person where I think we're in a similar path, we're in a similar journey, we're in a similar level of experience and education, gets promoted before I do. One of the things that I've actually realized is that, Tina, when we are bombarded, especially people of color, when we are bombarded with such situations, it's very rare for us to address these issues and actually use the right channels to address this issue. In some cases, when we do address them, we address them very emotional, and that's why a lot of people like close off and we don't get the right answers or the answers that we're looking for. So in cases such as this, I have made use of like the HR policies, gone to the HR manager. So one of the conversations that I've had with some of the HR managers was, okay, I accept that, you know, I was not successful, but can you explain to me in terms of, with this candidate that has been chosen, what are some of the qualities that were seen in this candidate that I could improve on, you know, so that when another opportunity, presents itself, I am now also in a good, in a good run for that position. Is there anything that I could have improved on? Is there anything that I could note going forward? They need to be accountable. They need to be accountable. But the underlying thing is, and I know, guys, this is going to sound insensitive, is that we become emotional. We want to go there already thinking to ourselves, Magalog, you chose him or her because of the color of their skin. In some cases, it is the case. Make use of your HR policies, your company policies, where the right policies followed. So those are some of the things that I have adopted, although I can definitely say that it had taken a lot out of me to take that step, because you also think to yourself, you don't want to come across as someone on entwenins. This one is full of themselves, this one is full of nonsense, they're always challenging things. So that's why I need to go back to when I said choose your battles very carefully. One of the things that I've learned is you do not choose a battle you know you're not going to win. Choose a battle that you know you're going to win. Now, guys, I'm addressing this topic because I know there's going to be one person in the comment section that says, if you're not happy with your job, then just move on. You can't be stuck in a job that you're unhappy about. Let me first say this. I know for a fact I'm one person that can't just resign from a job without a plan. I can't just resign from a job and then stay at home and have no income. I have responsibilities. I am paying my mom's house. I have responsibilities in my household. I have expenses that I am contributing to. So I do completely understand when people come to me and say, I cannot just resign, because I have responsibilities back at home. When it comes to this, guys, sit down, because at the end of the day, mental health is real. Like, I have been in situations where I'm like, I do not want to get out of bed because I don't want this job. Like, I hate where I'm at. I'm second guessing everything I do. I'm being second guessed for everything that I am doing. So in such a situation, do not get tired of weighing your options continuously. So if there's an opportunity for you to go back to school while you still have your job, have a support system that can support you in that regard. If there's an opportunity for you to go back to school and further your studies so that it can leverage you in terms of your experience and now your qualifications for you to get a better job, do that. Do not get tired of exploring every possible opportunity for you to get something better. I know it gets discouraging for you to looking for a job. You go for interviews, you don't hear back. You go for an interview, it looks promising, and then they reject you. Do not get tired of it. You keep on trying. The experience can never be replaced. So always constantly remember, while you're striving to be where you want to be, while I'm going to repeat this, you are not idling and always like, I'm not happy and not doing anything. While you are still striving in terms of being where you want to be, continues you to understand that the experiencing, whether it's in an industry that you do not want to be in, whether it's in a job that you don't want to be in, it is going to benefit you in the long run. When I look back at, when my dad was saying, I'm preparing you, I'm introducing you into the business, I wouldn't have gotten the manufacturing job if it was not for the experience that I had with my dad at his shop. I wouldn't have gotten that job and excelled in terms of what I did if I did not have the background. The last thing I'm going to say is please take care of yourself. I know for one is the things that happen at work and some of the things that we faced with can affect us. I'll be coming home and I'm like crying that so-and-so did this. I was faced with this and I had to go through, a disciplinary hearing for a person that I'm managing and I don't know like how to deal with it. Management is asking me to dismiss this person and I feel like, they're not at the level where they're supposed to be dismissed. So I'm in a middle ground and I don't know what to do. So please take care of yourself. Make sure that you have a good support system, and I can't stress this enough. Please make sure that you have a good support system. So more than anything else, I really hope that this video has helped you to understand that you are not alone. As I said, I've seen it all. I've been through it all. And I'm still going through it all, okay? But hang in there. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And I'll see you next time.